So when my children were little, I introduced them to olive oil on bread. And they loved it. And I remember after a couple of years, I used to watch them. They'd toast their bread, put olive oil and honey on, and they'd eat it as if they were eating the most delicious dessert. And I thought, must taste all right, so I decided to taste it. It's pretty good. Now I put olive oil on my bread. I love olive oil in my bread.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill. Today our topic is gluten-free bread and the incredible benefits of olive oil. With so many people choosing gluten-free diets for various health reasons, finding tasty alternatives can be a challenge. Did you know that studies have shown gluten sensitivity affects about 6% of the population? Even if you don't have celiac disease or a gluten intolerance, incorporating gluten-free options into your diet can still offer benefits such as improved digestion and increased energy levels. In this video, we'll discuss how gluten-free bread can be both nutritious and satisfying, and why pairing it with high-quality olive oil can enhance its flavor while providing numerous health benefits. As a thank you for joining me today, we're giving away 100 free copies of my best-selling book to subscribers. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment why you want to win.
We can determine what is truth by the BHSC method. BHSC. Let me introduce you to the BHSC method. And no matter what you come across, if you put it through the BHSC method, you can come at truth. Bible. The first one is Bible. History. History tells us a story. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. The history tells us what's happened in times past. Science. And the last one isn't very common. What's that one? Common sense. In 2021, I was with my daughter in Wisconsin, and she was going into this shop, and you could not go in unless you had a mask on. But she had a face shield. You can breathe in the face shield. She went to the door and they said, sorry, but we don't accept those. And my daughter said, I've got a medical condition and this is all I can wear. I've got CS. And they said, oh, righto, come in. What did she have? Common sense. Because apparently by law they're not allowed to ask you your medical condition. Anyway, she got in. Common sense. So we're going to put a few things through the BHSC method. One of them we're going to look at is coconut oil. Coconut oil isn't talked about in the Bible purely because the coconuts didn't grow around where the Bible was written. So the Bible does talk about an oil, and it's the oil that was grown where the Bible was written. And what is that? The olive oil. Absolutely. Well, is olive oil bad? Well, we might just turn aside from coconut oil. We'll come back to it and look at olive oil. Let's put olive oil through the BHSC method. Bible, does it talk about olive oil? Oh, yes. I think God must love olive oil because there are quite a few illustrations of olive oil. And there's that beautiful story of the lady whose husband died, but her husband was in debt, so the sons were going to be sold into slavery. So she went to the prophet. He said, what do you have in your house? She said, I've got a couple of big olive oil jars. He said, go and find more. Get from your neighbors. And God filled every oil jar with olive oil. She sold the oil. She got enough money to pay the debts, and her sons weren't sold into slavery. What do you think that oil was used for? Eating. Yeah, maybe they put a bit on their skin. But it's a very concentrated food, so you don't need much. So I'm sure that was expensive because it's so concentrated. Now, that's coming down to common sense, isn't it? And I don't know about you, but I could not drink a cup of olive oil, huh? No, it's too expensive, and I don't think I'd feel very good. It's very concentrated. Common sense says just a little bit. So Bible certainly talks about it, but God also gave a story in the Bible with Elijah in the time of no rain. And a widow fed him for 3 years. And remember what he said to the widow? If you feed me, God said, the meal will not lack nor the oil fail. And every morning when she woke up, there was a little bit more olive oil in the cruse. What does God just said about olive oil? It's good. History? Well, we're told that it causes heart disease, but did you know that before the Industrial Revolution, heart disease and strokes were quite rare? So then we need to investigate. So what happened in the Industrial Revolution? But before we look at that, let's look at the hundreds of years before the Industrial Revolution, where heart disease was quite minor. Were people eating oils? I go to the South Pacific Islands. They have coconut oil or milk or cream in every meal.
Olive oil is widely recognised for its health benefits, making it a popular choice in many kitchens. One of the standout features of olive oil is its high content of monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid. These healthy fats can help lower bad cholesterol levels while raising good cholesterol levels, which is beneficial for heart health. Regularly incorporating olive oil into your diet may reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. Beyond heart health, olive oil is loaded with antioxidants, including vitamin E and various polyphenols. These compounds help protect the body from oxidative stress and inflammation, which are linked to several chronic diseases, such as cancer and Alzheimer's disease. By reducing inflammation, olive oil may play a role in lowering the risk of these serious health issues. Interestingly, olive oil can also assist with weight management. Although it is calorie-rich, the healthy fats can promote a feeling of fullness, making it easier to control cravings and reduce overall caloric intake. This can be particularly helpful for those trying to lose or maintain weight. In addition to its health benefits, olive oil is incredibly versatile and easy to use in cooking. You can drizzle it over salads, use it in marinades, or simply dip bread in it. Its rich flavour enhances many dishes, making healthy eating more enjoyable. Some studies suggest that consuming olive oil regularly might even be associated with a longer life. The Mediterranean diet, which includes olive oil as a staple, has been linked to lower rates of chronic diseases and improved health outcomes.
Olive oil is called a monounsaturated fat. Mono meaning one, there is one empty spot on the fatty acid chain. So please, when you buy olive oil, buy it in a dark bottle and keep it in the cool because it has one empty spot. But the polyunsaturated, poly means many. The polyunsaturated have many open spots, so they're very volatile, easily destroyed with exposure to light, heat and oxygen. And they're the oils that they use or they extracted from the hard seeds, and they're the ones you'll find in the supermarket in the clear plastic bottles: canola oil, corn oil, soy oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. Don't touch them. Don't touch them because they're damaged oils. And those damaged oils can damage your arterial walls. Margarine, one of the worst. It's a documented fact that it's the #1 cause of macular degeneration. It's a toxic fat. Don't touch it. There's only 2 oils you'll find in my kitchen: olive oil and coconut oil.
Using olive oil to enjoy its health benefits is easy and delicious. One simple way is to drizzle it over salads as a dressing. You can mix olive oil with vinegar or lemon juice and add your favourite herbs for extra flavour. This not only enhances the taste, but also boosts the nutritional value of your meals. You can also use olive oil for cooking. When sautéing vegetables or meats, it's a great alternative to butter or other oils. Its high smoke point allows you to use it for frying, roasting, and grilling. Adding a splash of olive oil to roasted vegetables right before serving enhances their flavour and nutritional content. If you enjoy snacking, try using olive oil as a dip for bread. Just pour some high-quality extra virgin olive oil into a bowl and mix in balsamic vinegar for a tasty appetizer. You can also use it in marinades for meats and fish, as it helps to tenderize them and adds a nice flavour.
So there's another thing I'd like to put through the BHSC method, and that is sourdough bread. There's a big question mark about sourdough bread, especially where Ellen White has a statement where she says bread should be light and sweet, not sour and heavy. I totally agree. I totally agree. But some people have interpreted that to thinking that it's sourdough bread. It's not sourdough bread. In fact, before the Industrial Revolution, we're back to the Industrial Revolution, we're coming to history. Before the Industrial Revolution, all bread was sourdough bread. All bread. And sourdough bread is a remarkable bread because it's a combination of wild yeast, lactobacillus. The wild yeast cause the grain to grow, to blossom, to rise, and then the lactobacillus consumes the waste from the wild yeast. It's a perfect combination. It's a very similar combination to what happens in our gastrointestinal tract, especially in our colon, in our small intestine. You've got a combination of wild yeast, candidas, and lactobacillus acidophilus, bifidus bacteria, and bacterius, and they work together beautifully in the gut. And it's the same with that sourdough bread. So when you eat sourdough bread, it's like you're eating pre-digested grain, because it pre-digests or breaks down the protein or the gluten in the grain. And the Bible talks about the sourdough bread. Where does it talk about that? In 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 6, the Bible says, "Know you not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?" What's it referring to? That little bit of sourdough put into a whole bowl of flour and water, it will leaven the whole lump. And also in Matthew 13, chapter 13, verse 33, in one of the analogies Jesus gives, he says, "The kingdom of heaven is like unto a woman that took some leaven and put it into some meal, and the whole lump was leavened." So what's it talking about here? It's talking about the sourdough bread. Because yeast was not extracted from the sourdough till the Industrial Revolution. And let's go to the desert with Moses and all of the Israelites, the millions he had there. And once a year, they would celebrate the Passover. And when they celebrated the Passover, what did the ladies had to put out of their house for 7 days? Leaven. What was that leaven? It would have been none other than the sourdough starter. I can imagine those ladies putting their starter into a little clay bowl and putting it out under a bush for a week and coming back after a week. I know I've been away sometimes for a few weeks and I come back and my starter's looking a bit sad. I take it out of the fridge. I put a bit of flour and water with it and put it on the bench. And depending how long I've neglected it as to how long it starts, it's starting to rise up again.
Sourdough bread, particularly gluten-free varieties, offers several health benefits that make it a great choice for those with gluten sensitivities or celiac disease. One of the key advantages of sourdough is the fermentation process. During fermentation, naturally occurring bacteria and yeast break down the gluten and starches, making the bread easier to digest. This can be particularly beneficial for individuals who struggle with traditional gluten-containing bread. Another benefit of gluten-free sourdough is its lower glycemic index compared to standard bread. This means that it can have a milder impact on blood sugar levels, making it a better option for people managing diabetes or anyone looking to maintain stable energy levels throughout the day. The fermentation process also increases the availability of nutrients, including vitamins and minerals. Sourdough bread tends to have higher levels of B vitamins, magnesium, and iron, which are important for overall health.
Ellen White gives an illustration of Satan and his angels trying to find out how they could bring the most misery to human beings. Satan himself came up with a plan. He would change certain foods, the fruit of the vine. Now we know what's happened with alcohol and the misery it's brought. Wheat and other foods. Did you hear that? So this is 100 years before the wheat was hybridized. Ellen White saw that the wheat would be changed. My friend who's a doctor, she's just retired. She's allowed to. She's 80. She said, 40 years ago, you never heard of gluten intolerance. 20 years ago, it was starting to come up. What is it like today? It's just huge. And there are a few reasons for that. One is the poor old gut's not working well because antibiotics slaughter the gut, and there's hardly a person that hasn't had an antibiotic. And also, the wheat today's been hybridized. And because it was hybridized, put through intensive crossbreeding, well, it was actually rushed through with no safety studies. Does that sound familiar? Rushed through with no safety studies. It's only now we're starting to see the problems that this wheat has caused. Does the Bible talk about wheat? Yes. Jesus said that he was the bread of life. But the wheat back then is not the wheat today. So history tells us in the 1950s it was hybridized. In the 1970s it went worldwide. So by the 1990s, every cereal, bread, biscuit, cake, pasta, etc., it's the hybridized wheat. Do I eat wheat? Sometimes, not much. If I eat it, I have no reaction, but I'm sure if I ate it 3 times a day, I might start to see it. And in the Garden of Eden, God didn't say to Adam and Eve, behold, I've given you wheat. He said, behold, I've given you every herb-bearing seed, a variety of grain. But in this fast society, people grab for the fast food. What's the fast food? Cereal, breads, cakes, pizzas, donuts. They're all the quick foods, and they're predominantly made out of wheat.
Additionally, sourdough can contribute to gut health. The live probiotics formed during fermentation can help promote a healthy balance of gut bacteria, which is crucial for digestion and overall well-being. A healthy gut microbiome has been linked to improved immune function, reduced inflammation, and better mental health.
If I had eczema, or psoriasis, or diabetes, or cancer, or irritable bowel, I wouldn't touch the wheat. Because I have seen that in all cases of sickness in the body, one of the first things you've got to do is stop that wheat. And in America, you have access to the most beautiful bread, simple needs. And it'll keep 6 weeks in your fridge. And it might seem to get a little bit hard, but you put it in the toaster and it immediately lightens up. Tristan told me that his competitors say to him, we don't know how you do it. And he just smiles. Tristan is a Seventh-day Adventist. And he knows the value of good bread. And so that's a bread. In fact, he was going to send it here, but his project manager forgot. So they're sending it to my next venue. So the sourdough bread put through here says, this is good bread.
Sourdough's unique flavour and texture also set it apart from other types of bread. The tangy taste and chewy crust can satisfy cravings while providing a more wholesome option. Many people find that gluten-free sourdough bread offers the same satisfaction as traditional bread without the adverse effects. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this information helpful as you explore gluten-free options and the benefits of olive oil. Remember, making small changes like choosing healthier bread and incorporating olive oil into your diet can have a big impact on your overall well-being. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might find it useful. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more tips on living a healthier, balanced life. Until next time, take care of yourself and stay healthy.